Hello, welcome to Biography TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. Biography of Kumba Ialá Embaló. Kumba Ialá Embaló was a Bissau Guinean politician and founder of the Social Renewal Party (PRS), who served as president from the 17th of February 2000 until he was deposed in a bloodless military coup on the 14th of September 2003. Ialá was born on the 15th of March 1953 to a family of farmers in Bula, Kasho region. During his teenage years, he was a militant member of the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde (PAIGC) that sought independence from Portuguese colonial rule. He studied theology at the Catholic University of Portugal in Lisbon and thereafter studied philosophy, which he did not complete. In Bissau, Ialá studied law at the Law School of Amilcar Cabral University. After completing his studies, he was appointed director of the National Lyceum Kwame Nkrumah, where he taught philosophy and psychology. He was linguistically vast as he spoke Portuguese, French, Creole, Spanish, and English, and could also read Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. Ialá headed a PAIGC delegation to Moscow in honor of the 70th anniversary of the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution. However, in 1989, he got expelled from the party for demanding higher democratic reform. In March 1991, Ialá, together with Rafael Barbosa, founded the Democratic Social Front (FDS). He left the FDS on the 14th of January 1992 to form the Social Renewal Party (PRS). Ialá participated in the first multi-party presidential election held on the 3rd of July 1994. Incumbent President and PAIGC candidate João Bernardo Vieira won 46.20% of the vote, and Ialá finished second, clinching 21.88% of the vote. Some disagreement ensued over the election results, and a civil war followed alongside the ousting of Vieira. On the 28th of November 1999, there was another presidential election, and Ialá won the first round, but sadly got briefly hospitalized on the 29th of December 1999 due to high blood pressure shortly before campaigning for the second round. He went to Lisbon for medical treatment on the 30th of December and returned to Guinea-Bissau in early January 2000 to launch his campaign for the second round on the 9th of January. The second round of the election was held on the 16th of January 2000, and Ialá won 72% of the vote. He was then sworn in as president of Guinea-Bissau on the 17th of February. Ialá resigned as president of the Social Renewal Party in May 2000, but continued to play a significant role there. His tenure as the country's president began with the dismissal of ministers and some other high-ranking officials. His government was accused of financial mismanagement, and this led to protests and strikes, alongside the suspension of the International Monetary Fund aid. There were also a couple of other clashes at that time. Ialá dissolved the parliament in November 2002 and appointed Mario Pires as caretaker prime minister. He then announced that the next elections will be held in February 2002. However, the elections were repeatedly postponed, first to April, then to July, and even to October. Many saw this as a move to remain in power. Ialá's unfavorable regime, particularly the political instability, stagnant economy, and military discontent over unpaid salaries, led to a bloodless coup on the 14th of September 2003. He was detained and placed under house arrest, and 3 days after, he publicly announced his resignation. There was also a signed agreement to prohibit him from participating in politics for the 5 years that followed. Then a civilian-led transitional government, headed by Henrique Rosa, was set up at the end of that month. On the 8th of March 2004, just before the legislative elections, Lala was released from house arrest. He then announced that he would be participating in the next election campaign, despite the prohibition against his political activity. The election was eventually held on the 28th of March, and the PRS won 35 out of 100 seats, emerging second largest party in the National People's Assembly after the PAIGC. The following year, on the 26th of March 2005, he was chosen as the PRS candidate for the 19th June presidential election by the party's National Council, despite the ban. When accusations of the ban arise from opposition, he submitted his candidate application to the Supreme Court on the 11th of April, arguing that the ban was invalid. Fortunately for him, the Supreme Court cleared him to stand in the election and included his name in its list of approved candidates published on the 10th of May. There were controversies after the court ruling, and he eventually withdrew his candidacy. That was after violent clashes in the country. Lala went on a voluntary exile to Morocco and returned to Guinea-Bissau on the 27th of October 2006. On the 12th of November of the same year, he was elected as president of the PRS, and again, this brought out some backlash. He spent some more time in exile in Morocco and returned to Bissau on the 7th of July 2008 to register for the November 2008 parliamentary election. It was about that time that he converted to Islam in a city called Gabu on the 18th of July 2008, taking the name Muhammad Ialá Embaló. He also learned to speak Arabic. PAIGC officially won a majority of seats during the November 2008 election, defeating the PRS. Lala then disputed the results, alleging that they were fraudulent, but later celebrated with the party. Lala suffered a sudden cardiopulmonary arrest and died on the 4th of April 2014. What have we missed out of this biography of Lala? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.